What's up? This is the final video of the Subframe E30 project. So I'm going to show a little bit of poly bushing install, some parking brake assembly stuff, and then in the end it's going to be running, so stay tuned. Alright, so I got some bushings from Garagistic. Actually the first order got lost in shipping. It wasn't their fault, but they're a pretty cool company. They sent me a brand new set right away when I got a hold of them. But let me show you what I got, a little unboxing. Alright guys, so here's it is. We got subframe bushings and the sleeves. We got tape measure. That wasn't actually in there. We got big meaty diff bushing there. It's huge. It's huge. It's gonna be huge. We got 4 metal sleeves, one for each trailing arm bushing, 2 of the trailing arm bushings, and then 2 of them fell out of the package. I'll just leave them in there. I don't want to get them all messy. But the last things are these offset front control arm bushings. They go in that lollipop. So I already have offset bushings, but they're rubber. I don't know if that came off of M3 or something, but we're not going to be installing these like soon because I'm just focusing on the rear end. But yeah, so hopefully we can install those today and be cool stuff. It's all 95A polyurethane, so it should be like super stiff.
Right here we got the trailing arm right here, and we're putting in the bushings. So they come in sets of 2. If you get them from, we got them from Garagistic. These are just polyurethane, and they actually. So there is a kind of one that has a thinner lip on it. That's going to go on the inside. So one with a thicker one that's going to go on the outside. And you got this metal sleeve that's going to go right in the middle, and that's where the bolts that connected to the subframe are. So just we lube them up real good, so that way it kind of reduces the squeakiness of the polyurethane. You know, they're kind of known to be super loud and squeaky, and we want to try and eliminate that as much as we can, as well as just make it a little bit easier for them.
All right, we're gonna go whack whack on this bad boy, and then on the other side, thinner in the middle for both. You know, thinner, winner, chicken dinner. Boom, easy. Mint. Oh, sleeve time. This is the harder part. Sometimes you might have to use a bench vise. You know.
You see how this goes. Insert forward here.
So normally you'd want to take the cover off, but I was like, we're just gonna send it, right? So once you're done burning this bushing out and cutting the sleeve, just give this bad boy a little tappy tap.
El Santo.
That was dumb. Yeah, that was bad. Ah! That looks hella flush.
Dope.
What's up? So we got it all together here. You can see our mint paint job. We got rubbed off a little bit because we're all, putting our hands on it. But so just the basics of what we did here. So bolting these up, these are all 19s. This one, it was missing, so you can see I had to go get a new one. That was the hole was rusted, the threads were, so that was really tough to get that in, but yours shouldn't be that bad. These, I think you tighten them down pretty damn hard, like way past snug. You want to get it about as tight as you can. For these bolts, it was the same as getting them off. It's kind of a 2-man job. So one person holds the studs over here, or if you have wheel bolts. You could thread those in and then hold those maybe with a big wrench or something, some leverage on the ground. And then the other person comes and gets the H8 hex and tightens those. As far as the other stuff, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to tilt the trailing arms up a little bit to get them to slide in. And it all just kind of comes together.
Not sponsor. Okay, so we got the subframe right under the car here. We're gonna slide on under there. So there's only 5 points that will you bolted down. So we got the diff bolt that will go right under there to, let's see, aiming there it is right there. So that's where that's gonna go. Then we got the 2 subframe mounts. Those are gonna go into the car, kind of exactly where we remember from the other video where we busted those leg bolts. And then we'll also connect it to the shocks right here and over there. So we're just gonna go ahead and slide it on in there, and we'll show you what that looks like in the end. Okay, so here we got the subframe in. So just want to talk a little bit. It was kind of hard to film and do it at the same time. It was both hands on deck for that. So just going to talk about kind of step by step how we did it. It was really hard and really tricky and took a lot of really calculated movements. So first off though, we took the jack and lifted right under here to get the trailing arms up so that way we can connect the struts. So that we did just so that way it had a little bit of alignment, but after we got those aligned, we kept something under here to keep it up, and we jacked it up by the diff under there so that way it had a little bit of movement. We can go back and forth. These are able to move, swivel just a little bit. So and then from there we had to take the drive shaft and pull it into the subframe at the same time we were pushing on it, so that way that was connected, and there's a little hole there, so you have to make sure that that's in before it gets completely in line. So really there's 6 points of contacts that your subframe has to have. There's the struts on each side, so that's 2. There is this bushing right under there, and that's on each side as well. Then you have the drive shaft, and then you have the diff mount right there as well. So
alright, we're just talking about the little penny pin back here. So right in here, this is what connects up to the cable, and there's a little penny pin that probably can't see it, but it slides in there just like that. You don't want to lose that, and it looks really easy to lose, so and then this part slides on, and you gotta wriggle it around. Alright, here we are. It's not all the way together because you have these springs to install, but you can see the little adjuster. It puts like a preload on here, it goes on the top. Then there's these springs that kind of hold the little shoes on, and then down below here, hard to see, but that's where the cable comes in, and there's a little mechanism that flares out. So maybe we'll show you what it looks like on another assembly.
dab.
Alright, let's look how these parking brakes work. So we got these 2 shoes here. You can see this is the top side. It has a little tighter radius here and a little more sloped here. So this will be at the top of the hub. You can see the adjuster here puts a little preload on these shoes. Pretty simple deal. It can come apart, and yeah, just leave it how it is after you take it apart. So that'll go on the top. Alright, just like that. And then to hold the shoes to the dust plate, there's these 2 little spring clamps. Those will push in and turn 90 degrees. And that allows for a lot of free play, but it will hold it in, a basic area there. And we have these springs. Those will go into here. I like to have this part, so you see how this comes on the top. I like to have it like that because it came into contact with this hub. If this was flipped around like that, I don't know if that is a legitimate thing, but when I installed it, that was the case. So then this is the final part. This is where the cable comes in. Comes in 2 parts. Basically, there's a pin, and then this is the cable. When you pull on the cable, it's gonna flare this out, and that will push these shoes apart. And that just sits in there like this with these 2 notches lined up with these 2 notches. And it's a pretty simple deal. It just flares it out, holds these shoes apart, and keeps the wheels from spinning. Alright, got it up on jack stands, and I want to check the diff fluid because we took the diff out and it leaked out the breather, which is like on the top of the cover. So just gonna be topping it off. Alright, we're under the car, checking out the diff cover. You can see the fill bolt and the drain bolt. So this is gonna be a 10mm Allen, and you wanna crack the fill bolt before you drain it, because you want to make sure that you can get this out and don't strip it. You can see mine's already kind of messed up, so yeah, let's crack that one and then drain it out. Alright, so check this out. I could swear that this has been leaking for a long time, but I take the fill plug out all the way and it leaks out. And that's when you know it's full, when it leaks out the top. So apparently I don't need to fill this diff. I must have overfilled it when I filled it when I first bought the car. I swapped the diff fluid. Alright, well now apparently the diff was full. One more thing I want to do is calibrate my O2 sensor. So let's get to that. Adjusted the parking brake. Now I think I'm gonna put the rear end down, lift the front up, and then calibrate the O2 sensor. And then maybe just check some fluids and let it rip, tater chip. So, mint. How to calibrate your wideband. So, go ahead right away, just 22mm in your exhaust bung, take out the O2 sensor, and then what you have to do is disconnect the wire to the O2 sensor too. And then you're gonna turn your key for 30 seconds, over 30 seconds, just leave it for a while. I've probably done 2 minutes now because it's been messing around, but I'm gonna disconnect or turn the power off and then plug the wire back in. So let me do that quick. So powered it down, and then I plug this wire in with one hand. All right, I'm gonna cut to it. All right, so make sure that connection's really tight, and then repower. Then do a sweep, go to heater. Yeah, there we go, CAL, calibrate. And then it'll read 22.4 because that is the ambient air. And then you can shut it off and then put your O2 back in. Alright guys, I think that'll do it. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. This is the final episode of this subframe debacle. It's kind of a big project. I'm kind of glad to have it done, but like 3 months I think in total. So it's a long time. But it's done now, and everything works pretty good. Feels good. Feels pretty tight. Honestly, not actually that much different. It's less of a like surprising difference than I thought, but it's okay. So it's back on the road, and catch you in the next one.